Sound check mark 2. Sound check mark 2. Sound check mark 2.
Sound check.
Sound check. Yep. All right, we're good.
Check. Okay, good.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, yeah, see?
This 228 is a lot handier than I thought it was going to be.
You're going to say that about any SIG. If SIG made a fucking Razor scooter, you would be like, this SIG Razor scooter is handier than I thought it would be.
I mean, just size-wise. It is only marginally smaller than the 226.
Yeah, but see, look, I've got the same thing here. This is the Beretta, Centurion, and I've reverse crown everything.
Super short.
Yeah, it's the 92G with the decocker only and the Centurion slide, and of course, had to have everything cut and reverse crown down, and then I had to, grind that little thing. But it's nice, and I'd say about half of it is a Beretta. So Mike told me that on the difficulty, you can do custom difficulty, right?
Okay.
So apparently the enemy difficulty is bullshit. Apparently the enemy difficulty is absolutely bullshit. It's just how much, hit points they have, because Mike's played these. So he says that what we wanted was the realistic shooting, quote-unquote realistic, because 30 carbine drops 8 feet and 8 feet, yeah. So it's like throwing corn.
Everything drops fucking 8 feet for every 10 feet forward.
So here's my question. If we... Okay, let's see. Gravity and wind. Uh-huh. All right.
It's like the developers didn't know that it should take the amount of time it takes to drop that bullet from shoulder height. That is how long it should take to fall.
All right, so to make this more accurate, well, yeah, I mean, a bullet drops from a gun as fast as you can drop a pin from your hand, So yeah. It's like gravity's a constant. Doesn't matter unless it's orbital velocity.
I was explaining it poorly, but
yeah.
Yes.
No, I get it. It's unless you have 3,000 meters a second of delta V, you're not going to outrun falling. So I adjusted the things because I wanted less bullet drop, so let's see if we're better at this without wacky, cartoony, cartoon physics.
I would be wholeheartedly enthused to find an improvement.
Well, the next game is a little bit...
ready to wipe out London. It's like a week to the end of the war. How are they going to wipe out London?
With their super crazy gas. Remember they have the goofy gas?
I don't think the Germans even had any of the portable shit left at this point.
No, a lot of their, all the chemical stuff was either fallen to the Allies by now or was in Eastern Germany and had just been absolutely, Zhukov'd.
Yeah, they control Austria, mostly, and they control this little cordon around Berlin.
And fun fact, that's how Austria are those guys in that funny picture with both T-3485s and American equipment in the same picture. Because Russia was these tanks are way too expensive to ship back. So what's drawing you to the Gewehr here?
Fast follow-up shots. That is all it is magazine fed and fast follow-up shots for when I invariably fuck up the drop because it seems to change every time you shoulder the rifle. If I
lived in this universe and guns behaved as they do in this game, I would file and polish all of the internals on these rifles and hope I could bump that trigger really quick. I would just get a broomstick, you know what I mean, and a piece of string, and just be on that, and they'd be like, "What is that?" I would get a trigger so light I could get it to bounce very easily, and then I would just tie a string around it, and I just pulled the string to actuate it. I'd be like, "Yeah, this is my string machine gun."
Oh, shot you in the ass.
Okay.
You should go rescue those people.
Of all the World War II uniforms, I'm gonna say this. While not looking good at all, the Russian quilted jacket is probably the comfiest.
Oh, 100%.
Because you can lay in that coat and take a nap. Which I think is why they designed it that way. We will not pay for tent, just lay in ditch.
I recall somebody did a demonstration of uniforms on the Eastern Front. And they showed that this, while it was clearly peasant wear, it was peasant wear from a very cold place. and it was very, very well insulated for its weight versus the German wool over wool over wool.
Has a huge fucking problem. Wool over wool over wool gets wet, and then it doesn't breathe, and then you have like middle layers freezing, because the German coats are really designed like you're going out to the opera. You're gonna be out in the cold for just a little bit. That's it.
It is striking that every nation adopted elements of its hunting clothing as its military uniform. Our M41 jacket was based off a general's favorite hunting jacket before the war, the M38 Parsons. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
What?
3 mils up at 241 yards.
You're assuming Mills. You're assuming this isn't self-applied, like, really, really fine screwdriver scrapings. You're assuming in a war zone, you're gonna find a scope that isn't a factory defect in the nation's capital, that was rapidly assembled by school children in cottage industry. Quite literal cottage industry. Alright, look. I've got the 1911, which is comically oversized, and my guy, like, chokes up on the bottom.
They clearly bought that asset from somewhere and didn't scale it down like it should have been.
They also
Wonderful.
They also have no idea how a gun fits in someone's hands. I mean, I appreciate the character does all these animations to move the gun off their body, but in all reality, it's the same level of fidelity as Skyrim, where you just have a thing on your back for some reason. I got him! Hardball! Oh god! Yeah, they'll do that.
Draw me like one of your French girls.
What if it was that scene from The Big Lebowski where he sketched it and it's the guy with a giant dick and he's like, this doesn't help me.
I gut shot that SS officer.
That guy, that SS officer, I'm gonna say this is a really brave guy wearing that uniform and with the Russian army rolling
all
through.
Of Berlin, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's SS. I think is supposed to be a general officer's.
You know, those pants almost look like the artilleryman's pants. They look almost like those are cadet school pants from the old, you know. See the stripe? Okay.
Maybe he's like a postman.
Oh yeah, they did.
I know they pressed a bunch of government workers into the.
They did. They did.
Stern.
Yeah. Well, you know what would be really funny is if he found like he's in one of the 400 SS divisions Hitler raised at the last minute. You know.
Oh, map's burning! No, no, save the map.
Not the only map.
There shouldn't be any launch sites around Berlin.
No, especially with the Russian army coming in. There should be
He
nothing.
just said it's behind enemy lines in Russia, in Russian territory. Why haven't the Russians taken that B-2 and shipped it to Moscow yet?
Well, if I remember correctly, it's because they have to get Koryolev out of the gulag because they don't know what they're looking at. And Koryolev's been sent to mine salt despite being the guy who will build their moon program.
There. Knees.
So let's admire the fidelity of the size of a radio set. That's why people thought Dick Tracy was crazy, because the idea of talking into your wristwatch was fucking insane back then.
That might be modeled on an actual German radio.
I think that one is.
Stuff.
Oh, I think. Well, I think that one is. I think that's.
This one's in English. Equipment radio.
Oh. Oh.
Radio equipment, says this other label. 3 more snipers spawned in when you went down.
Well, I ran because I'm smart. They can't shoot me while they're distracted by the other player. And I found some gold. I'm gonna buy a Studebaker when I get home.
War surplus Studebakers, only $200.
Oh man. Back when War Surplus was War Surplus, you go to War Surplus store and buy anything.
Friend, do you need 80 M1 carbine receivers? Because I've got them. 40 cents each.
Fella, do you need a... God, I remember the old Shotgun News when it was in print. They'd be like...
Oh, yeah.
They'd be like, hey, DP-28 machine guns, disassembled, $128. We'll throw in the box. And, people are like, no one wants those nowadays. People are screaming. And people are like, that's a...
want to be depressed, look at old gun ads.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that was through his eye.
An eye for an eye.
An eye for an eye? That's a myth sold by Eye Patch. Big Eye Patch.
By Big Eye Patch. Oh my god. Oh, that is retarded. Wow.
Oh.
I need a drink.
I just coughed all mine up.
When we build up, I know I'm gonna be the best warship was built for you. When we set out, I know I'm gonna be the best warship that sails for you. When we spot them, I know I'm gonna be the best warship that will take point. And if we take heat, I know I'm gonna be the best warship to take that heat. Oh, I would block 800 rounds, and I could block 800 more just to be the ship that took 1,600 rounds and sunk them down below. When we're working, I know I'm gonna be the warship working hard for you. And when the fleet comes, I know I'm gonna block every round they ever throw. When we take heat, you know I'm gonna be the ship that comes down to save you. And if they sink me, well, you know I'm gonna be the ship that takes one more with me. 'Cause I would block 800 rounds, and I could block 800 more just to be the ship that took 1,600 rounds before I up and flow. Right now, right now, right now, right now, right now, right now. When they pen me, I know I'm gonna be the warship tells them I'll fuck you. And when they struck me, I know I'm gonna be the ship that fires torpedoes. When I go out, well, you know I'm gonna be the ship that's shooting torpedoes. When they sink me, yes, I know I'm gonna be the ship that sinks a couple more. I'm gonna be the ship that sinks way fucking more. 'Cause I would block 800 rounds, and I would block 800 more just to be the ship that took 1,600 rounds before I up and flow. Right now, right now, right now, right now, right now, 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 now. Right now, right now, right now, right now, right now, 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 now. Right now, right now, right now, right now, right now, 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 now. Right now, right now, right now, right now, right now, 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 now.